So moving into the mentality part of it, this is the big issue that people face, usually in a lonely way, because it's difficult to explain how they feel about this thing that they're doing. It's generally a solo venture. Very rarely you're around people that are all in business that can sort of understand what you're going through and know and explain and give you a lot of guidance. I would say that more so in this day and age, there's a lot more access to that now. If you find the right topics, if you find the right people, you find the right content. One of the things that is the fear of the unknown, and the fear of the unknown is drilled into you from a young age. Uh, and people are like, well, what if? What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I don't get enough clients? What if they don't pay? What if it backfires? What if I'm not good enough? So there's a lot of what ifs, and in my experience, that if you were to make a mountain, a huge mountain of what ifs, and the entire mountain was made up of these what ifs that people have, the reality of what comes true is like a tiny rock that falls off that mountain that probably is there, meaning that a lot of these what ifs don't happen. And they're really a figment of your mind, your imagination, and really a bit of, pessimism. It's great to think about the possible what ifs if you go one step further. But if you just answer the negative side of what if this doesn't work, what if this backfires, go one more step, which is, and that's great to think about. How would I handle that? And what if it worked? What would it look like? What would it be like if it became a success? What would it look like if I had lots of orders? What would it look like if I was at full capacity? What would it look like if I was expanding? What would it look like if I was financially free? What would it look like if it was making lots of money? So there's many, many, many what ifs that you can take one step further, because if you want to explore the negative, then go one step further and explore not only just the negative but the positive, because what you're doing is getting a balanced thought process. You're getting a balanced view where you can answer these questions. So an example would be, what if I don't get enough clients? Well, if you don't get enough clients, that gives you an opportunity. That's good, because you can get an opportunity to figure out what it is that you need to do to get new clients. Do you need to change up your marketing strategy? Do you need to increase the amount that you're posting? Do you want to consider some cheap versions of paid ads? Do you want to start developing your network? Is there anyone that you can reach out to? So there's lots of what if, and then how can I make it work? And then what happens if you do get lots of clients? What does that look like? And then you can build up a picture where you go, okay, it's good to think that that is something I need to consider, because what you're doing is you're developing backstops like we did in planning, which is the backstop is, hey, look, you've went too far, that you need to do something. A backstop's alerting you that you're not on the right track. And if you're not getting enough clients, the backstop, you've then created the backstop where you can identify it and you can adapt and you can adjust. So that's a great thing to do to beat the unknown. The second thing is the mentality part is people focus on the fear, the big bad fear, the doomsday scenario. I don't get paid, I can't get any work, I don't know what I'm doing, and so on. Well, also, what to do is do some basic calculations. If you were at maximum capacity and you hit all the targets that you could possibly set, and at the price point or margin or profit or hourly rate that you charge, whatever it is that you're constructing this side hustle, your main business, what would be the reward if you got it all right? And I'm going to tell you something now. That reward is nearly almost always greater than you think. So you generally will make more money than you could think. You will generally get a lot more clients than you can think. You'll generally have greater success than you think. You'll get greater conversions. You'll get greater results than you think. So these are all the reason that you want to do a side hustle is that you've got some talent, you've got some potential, and you want to put it on the line to see what you've got. And that potential will always surprise you. If you put in the work and you put in the hours, you're going to be surprised to the upside about how good your potential actually is. And you'll always get a lot better results than you thought you would. And that's the thing, that's the pleasant surprise about all this. So what you want to do is to quash fear, look at the reward, and then ask yourself, is this thing that I'm afraid of worth a shot? in a gamble because this reward could be huge. And remember what I said, the reward is usually always greater than whatever you think it is because you're going to feel free. You're going to feel a sense of freedom, security, and a master of your own destiny and being in control and being able to make decisions that you wouldn't make. Like, if you want to take time off, do you want to double down? Are you being rewarded for the hard work that you do? You're doing this hard work and you're being categorically rewarded for the amount of work that you're putting in. Now, you're not going to get that in a corporate job. You're not going to get that in some place that pays you paycheck to paycheck. It will be directly reflected in your services that you provide. So that is exactly why you want to do it. And following on from the idea of breaking it down, mentally, if you're struggling with the concept of the fear, break the sections down of what you're doing into smaller sections.